Deep in the dense rain-soaked forests of the Pacific Northwest, veteran cryptid researcher Russell Acord made a discovery that would send shivers down the spine of even the most seasoned outdoorsman. What began as a routine tracking expedition quickly escalated into something far more sinister when he stumbled upon physical evidence that could finally prove the existence of the legendary Sasquatch. The first ominous sign appeared near a small creek bed where the forest floor transitioned to thick mud. There, perfectly preserved in the damp earth, stretched a line of massive humanoid footprints measuring nearly 18 inches in length. The researcher noted with growing excitement how the impressions showed clear toe definition and an unusual mid-tarsal break, anatomical features often described in Sasquatch encounters but never conclusively documented. The stride length suggested a creature standing at least 8 feet tall, its weight causing deep compression in the soft ground. Just yards away from these disturbing tracks, Russell discovered something even more unsettling, what he would later term a kill zone. Scattered across a 30-foot diameter clearing lay the skeletal remains of multiple large mammals, their bones picked clean with almost surgical precision. Unlike typical predator kills where gnaw marks and shattered bones would indicate feeding, these remains showed no signs of teeth marks or the crushing bites characteristic of bears or wolves. Instead, the bones appeared to have been meticulously stripped of flesh, some still bearing faint traces of connective tissue that suggested this macabre cleanup had occurred recently. As Russell carefully documented the scene, his trained eye noticed disturbing patterns in the bone distribution. The larger skeletal elements were arranged in what appeared to be deliberate formations, while smaller bones were piled in specific areas. This wasn't random scavenging, it bore the hallmarks of systematic behavior, possibly even ritualistic placement. The presence of both weathered older bones and freshly cleaned specimens indicated this location had been used repeatedly over time, perhaps as some sort of feeding ground or cache site. The trail of evidence led Russell to an abandoned homestead deep in the forest, its dilapidated structure standing as a silent witness to whatever haunted these woods. Inside the crumbling building, the researcher made another ghastly discovery. Fresh blood smears across the weathered floorboards and walls. The splatter patterns suggested something large had been injured, possibly by the rusted nails protruding dangerously from the ceiling beams. The coppery scent still hung faintly in the stale air, confirming this was no ancient bloodstain but something much more recent. Russell's thermal imaging equipment, which had captured unusual heat signatures in previous nights, added another layer to the mystery. Reviewing footage from earlier expeditions, he identified a massive bipedal form moving with deliberate stealth near a herd of elk. Unlike bears that typically move on all fours when hunting, this creature maintained an upright posture as it stalked its prey before vanishing into the forest with unnatural quickness. In a bold experiment to test the area's activity, Russell played recorded Sasquatch vocalizations through a high-powered speaker system. The forest's response was immediate and terrifying. From multiple directions came guttural vocal replies that didn't match any known animal calls in the region. These unnerving sounds were soon accompanied by loud wood knocks, the rhythmic pounding on trees that Sasquatch researchers believe may be a form of communication. The situation escalated when unseen entities began hurling rocks toward the research team's position, the projectiles landing with disturbing accuracy just short of their equipment. As night fell, Russell's night vision gear revealed at least 3 separate heat signatures moving to surround their position. The creatures demonstrated clear tactical awareness, using the terrain for cover while maintaining constant surveillance of the intruders in their territory. The researcher noted with professional admiration how they employed diversionary tactics, creating noises in one location while actually approaching from another direction. The cumulative evidence paints a chilling picture of an intelligent, possibly territorial species that has mastered survival in these remote forests. The physical traces left behind tell a story of immense strength, sophisticated hunting techniques, and behaviors that blur the line between animal instinct and something more human-like. Russell's measurements of the footprints suggest creatures capable of bipedal locomotion at incredible speeds, while the bone site indicates a level of manual dexterity that would allow for precise stripping of flesh from carcasses. What began as a search for legend has evolved into a serious scientific inquiry. The data collected, from castings of the massive footprints to samples of the mysterious blood traces, will undergo rigorous laboratory analysis. But one thing is already clear to Russell and his team: they're no longer the hunters in these woods. They've become the observed, the studied, the tested by whatever intelligent beings call this dark forest home. As the research continues, Russell plans to return with enhanced equipment including drone surveillance and advanced motion-activated camera traps. But even the most sophisticated technology may prove no match for creatures that have evidently spent centuries perfecting the art of staying hidden. One truth has emerged from the shadows of these ancient woods: we share this wilderness with something we don't yet understand, something that watches us with equal if not greater curiosity than we show toward it. Over the course of a week-long expedition, the group collected multiple forms of evidence suggesting the presence of large, unidentified bipedal creatures inhabiting the dense old-growth forests. The expedition, led by wildlife biologist Dr. Russell Acord, initially set out to study predator-prey dynamics in the region. However, their research took an unexpected turn when they began encountering anomalous signs throughout their study area. Acord later recounted how their routine fieldwork gradually transformed into something far more extraordinary as they pieced together the disturbing evidence. The first significant discovery came near a seasonal creek bed where researchers identified several sets of unusually large footprints preserved in the damp alluvial soil. The impressions displayed a distinctive anatomical structure unlike any known North American mammal, featuring a pronounced mid-tarsal break and an unusual pressure distribution pattern. Forensic analysis of castings revealed dermal ridge patterns inconsistent with bear or other regional wildlife tracks. Near the footprint site, researchers discovered what appeared to be a recurring feeding area containing numerous skeletal remains. Forensic anthropologist Dr. Mireya noted the peculiar condition of these bones, which showed signs of having been meticulously cleaned with remarkable precision. The absence of characteristic gnaw marks or crushing fractures typically left by regional predators suggested an unconventional method of carcass processing. As daylight faded, the research team began documenting increasingly strange phenomena. Audio equipment captured a range of anomalous vocalizations that acoustic analysts later characterized as biologically significant but unidentifiable. These recordings included deep, guttural calls estimated to originate from a sound-producing organ of substantial size and power, as well as complex sequences of wood-on-wood percussion that appeared to follow discernible patterns. Thermal imaging systems intermittently detected large heat signatures moving through the forest with an unusual gait pattern. Technical specialist Ronnie Patel reported that these thermal anomalies displayed movement characteristics inconsistent with known quadrupeds, maintaining consistent bipedal locomotion even across challenging terrain. The figures occasionally appeared to stop and observe the researchers from concealed positions. The situation reached its peak intensity when the team conducted an audio playback experiment. After broadcasting recorded vocalizations, they received immediate responses that gradually increased in frequency and intensity. Multiple team members reported feeling watched during this encounter, with several describing an overwhelming sense of being studied by an intelligent presence in the surrounding forest. Subsequent analysis of the site revealed physical evidence of this encounter, including freshly broken branches at heights exceeding typical bear reach and disturbed soil patterns suggesting multiple large individuals had moved through the area. Researchers also documented several rocks that appeared to have been deliberately placed in conspicuous locations near their equipment. Upon returning to their field station, the team began the painstaking process of analyzing their collected evidence. Preliminary findings have raised numerous questions about the nature of their experiences. Audio analysis revealed several vocalizations containing infrasonic components, frequencies below human hearing range that can produce physical sensations of unease. Soil samples from footprint sites contained unusual microbial communities unlike control samples from the surrounding area. The research team has emphasized their commitment to rigorous scientific investigation of these phenomena. They plan to return with additional equipment including high-resolution trail cameras, advanced audio recording systems, and environmental DNA collection kits. Their findings will undergo peer review before any formal conclusions are drawn. This incident represents one of the most thoroughly documented cases of its kind, combining multiple lines of physical evidence with professional observations. While extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence, the researchers maintain that their experiences warrant serious scientific consideration. The team has established protocols for continued monitoring of the area while maintaining strict safety precautions. Local authorities have been briefed on the findings, though officials caution against premature conclusions. The research team stresses the importance of maintaining scientific objectivity while acknowledging the potential significance of their discoveries. As Dr. Acord noted in his field journal, what we're encountering here may represent either a remarkable ecological discovery or a profound lesson about human perception in wilderness environments. In either case, the scientific process must guide our understanding.